Sir, how old are you? I will be 22 Monday. What is your occupation? I am a mechanic. You are under a Supreme Court subpoena served upon you? Yes, sir. Are you a defendant in this action brought on by the Pan American Insurance Company? That is correct, sir. Was there a time on June 4th, 1966, when you were present at the Maple Grove racetrack? Yes, sir. Prior to June 4th, 1966, had you been present at the stock car race in question? I had been. How many times? Approximately 5 or 6 times. This is in what year? 1966. On June 4th, 1966, were you familiar with the relative conditions of the various buildings around the track at all? I was pretty familiar. Will you look at Exhibit 1 and familiarize yourself with that photograph? Yes, sir. Is Exhibit 1 a fair and accurate representation of the position of the grandstand, the track area, and the area where racing cars were to be serviced? It is. When was the photograph taken, if you know? It had to be after June 4th. Do you mean after the accident? Yes, sir. Because on June 4th, the starter's gate was damaged by your automobile, was it not? It was. And a steel pole was knocked down by your vehicle. Isn't that correct? Yes. To your knowledge, was there a fire in the grandstands that night, do you mean? No, after June 4th. No, sir. Is there a hot dog stand shown in Exhibit 1? Yes. Point that out, please, right here. Were there stones and cinders around the hot dog stand? I couldn't tell you. But the hot dog stand was always in the same place? Yes, there was dirt on the inside and grass on the outside of the stand. By the way, do you know whether this is an aerial photograph? Well, I see the strut in the photo here. Is that a view looking from the back stretch to the front stretch? Yes, it is. What is the length of the track? 1/2 mile around. On Exhibit 1, I am pointing to an area between the hot dog stand and the track. Yes. Why was that used? That pit area was for parking area cars for the race that night. Was the so-called pit area used for working on automobiles, do you know? Yes. I point to a grassy area lying between the pit and the track. What did that area consist of? There was just a big stand and some other things. Using the points of the compass, will you please tell us the placing of these different poles, if you will? That would be hard. All right, on June 4th, 1966, did you have a racing car at that track? Yes. What time did you arrive? 7 o'clock. In the evening? Right. Did you buy an admission ticket? Not really. I had a pass. Did you run around the track for a warm-up? I did. Together with other racing cars? That's right. What kind of racing car did you have? A 1934 Ford. What kind of engine? A 327 engine. I did not hear you. I said a 327 engine. It was a Ford engine, was it? No, it was a Chevy. Was this the same car that you had been racing previously in 1966? Yes, sir. At this track, is that right? That is correct. Did there come a time when there was a final race of the evening? Yes, sir. You were entered in that race? I was. All such cars came from the pit area, sir? What do you mean? I withdraw that. What time was this? 10:30 p.m. Did that race start? It did. How many cars were in it? 20. How long a race was this? A 25-lap race. Did there come a time when this race was interrupted? Yes. Will you please tell us about that? There had been 2 cars that had spun out and they stopped the race. According to the rules, when you are spun out like that, you are supposed to go to the rear of the pack. They did not want to, so there was just a lot of arguing. Where was this argument going on? In front of the grandstand. In front of the grandstand? Opposite the gate. At this time, were there any people in the pit area on this grassy area at the starter's stand? Quite a few, yes. The race then started up again, is that it? Yes, sir, that is what happened at that time. Will you tell us what happened? The race started up again. Speak loudly and slowly. We had 1 lap to go, and I was in 4th position. You were 4th from the front? Right. Was there cars behind you? Yes, yes. Go ahead. I was coming down to get the checkered flag for the last lap, and the throttle stuck. And the cars were sliding every which way, and I was trying to pick the throttle up with my foot. But when you are going 85 to 90 miles an hour, you are just too late. Everything is a blur. As a result, I jumped the embankment. Go ahead. Yes. That is the area between the pit and the track? Yes, sir. What do you mean by you jumped it? Well, I jumped up on the grass and went through the grass and ended up against a steel pole, you know, and the throttle was still stuck. Was there a swampy area within the area you referred to as the grassy area? It was sort of swampy, yes, just a lot of mud on the east side of the grass. Will you show it on the photograph, please? Yes, sir. Write the word swamp on it. It's not really a swamp, it's just grass. Where did you park your racing car that night? At the speedway, sir. Is this the area you indicated had all the stones? Well, it was cinders for the most part. Okay.
Fast. How fast was that?
That was 2, 3. One 60.
160?
160. So you can see that these higher speeds aren't that impossible, but they're fast. Who's giving up 180? 280. Yeah, let's see here. Look at how these guys made out. Yes. 1971. Richard Tuttle, 99.15. That means he made 14 errors in 99. He made 13 errors. And second was Charles Boyer, 99.08. 1 error more. And then J. Edward Varallo. Mind you, this is 1970, and he was in a contest in 1995. It was 25 years later. He's still riding 280. Once these guys get up there, you lose a little, but if you keep practicing, you keep it. Get more accurate. Like this Joanne Bryce, who won the speed contest this past year, who won the previous year. And I asked her, she said, I practiced every single day for 1 hour, even though I'm in a busy court in the morning. So she got 5 errors better. So she had a perfect paper, 280. Yeah, she's practicing for a year, 280, when she has 280. Tough to beat these people. So in the Southern District, there's a guy, what's his name?